Welcome to the Terrible Take, a mini podcast telling Steelers Nation what's on our minds. I'm Joe Clark. One of my biggest takeaways from the 2024 NFL Combine was the Pittsburgh Steelers' interest in receivers who were projected to be taken on the first rounds of the draft. Guys like A.D. Mitchell, Troy Franklin, even they met with Roma Dunze, they met with Brian Thomas formerly. It got me thinking about a potential draft scenario that could fit their needs, and just in general, the idea of taking a receiver early. Now, I don't know if this scenario is one that's particularly likely. Frankly, I don't think it is. But it's one that I've been pondering as a potential option for Pittsburgh, given their interest in receivers and other holes that they have to fill. What Pittsburgh could do is take a receiver at number 20, grab an offensive tackle who falls out of the first round at number 52 overall, which is their second round selection, and then take a cornerback in the third. Could also package one of their two fourth-round picks. They have an extra one. And maybe both of them, depending on how many spots they need to jump, or find a way to package, future picks, find a way to get back into that third round to take Cedric Van Pran-Granger if he's still on the board, the center out of Georgia. He's a guy the Steelers met with formally at the Combine. He wasn't at the Senior Bowl. Obviously, as we've talked about on social media this week, the formal meetings this year weren't, as big of a deal as they met with a lot of guys at the Senior Bowl, so they didn't feel the need to meet with them formally at the Combine, but they did meet with Van Pran formally at the Combine, and he's one of the top centers in this class. The fact that those fourth-round picks coming back-to-back spots would make it tough to part with one of them. But the way the Steelers would hit almost every major need with an offensive tackle. And see, the thing with an offensive tackle falling is there's just so many good tackles this year. I feel like one of them is probably bound to fall to the Steelers pick at 52. They could get a cornerback in the third, potentially Oregon's Kyrie Jackson. He's a guy who's ideal size for the Steelers. I've been monitoring him, a lot as one of those big, longer corners who could pair well with Joey Porter Jr. And on a center in Van Pran, and then they add to their offensive talent with another receiver. I think even if the team doesn't trade Deontay Johnson, a receiver is an option. And it's been hot on the rumor mill these last few days, that Johnson might get traded. But even if he does remain a Steeler, he might not be retained beyond the 2024 season, which is the final year of his deal. And adding to the roster from this talented pool of receivers in the draft could be a move that makes the Steelers a lot better and bolsters their pass game now and in the future. There's still a lot of time till the draft, and we'll see what happens in free agency. But after talking to a lot of these receivers and hearing about Pittsburgh's interest in them, it does sound as if going receiver early is an avenue that the Steelers are exploring. And if they do, it'll be very interesting to see how it all works out. Be sure to follow us at SteelersDepot.com and check out episodes of The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out The Terrible Podcast with Alex Kozor and Dave Bryan every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Go Steelers.